Now, listen, you guys, one thing about Azealia Banks is an undercover bub. That's what I'm just gonna be saying. He's on the DL, okay? We're gonna talk about also this entire situation with Ice Spice and the streams and Doja Cat. I don't know what's going on the charts. We're also gonna be discussing about Akbar V and of course Advocate BBL. It seems like something is going on there, and these are some of the things that we will be discussing in this video. Hello tea lovers and welcome to the tea plug. I trust you guys are doing well and I trust you are doing great. Personally, I am doing great, you guys. I am doing extremely amazing, and without further ado, let us dive straight into today's tea. So, first of all, let us talk about Paprika Spice and, of course, this new era after the rebrand and everything. You know, she's been trying to rebrand after the fall off, but it seems like it's not sticking. It's not happening. People are tired of the same raps all over the time. And I do feel like even though it was not as sudden, it was actually very sudden, that those entire text messages that were put out did have a strong, huge hit on her career, to the point where it's very hard for her. Even if she changes 20,000 wigs, okay, the rebrand is just not happening. Now, the song that she released this Friday, you guys, if you didn't know, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because it didn't really make a lot of noise. It's called Betty Betty. It's performed poorly, okay? It is actually being reported that her song Betty Betty earned 381 streams in its first full day of release on Spotify. I wish I could say that this is surprising, but I absolutely am not. I feel like these girls kind of overestimate the fans that they have, the fan bases that they would have built. They really do think that within a year or 2 years, you can build a strong fan base, to the point where they start disrespecting the OGs. And I feel like they take to heart whatever these execs be saying behind the scenes. And they take them seriously, not knowing that these are people trying to profit off of you. Of course, they're going to gas you up so that you can feel like, oh, you're bigger than this, so that you can be bold enough to go against people that you cannot even, compete with. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And this is the reality check that she's now getting. And I don't know what she's going to do from here going forward, okay? Because this has to be started. This fall off literally has to be started. She really tried with the rebrand. I thought maybe they had a different strategy this time, and it's just not looking good. And people are also cloaking the fact that, well, it's that ex-Nicki Minaj manager, that gassed their head up now to the point where she is right now. What's going on Spotify? And this is also a sad time because, well, everybody's eyes is on Spotify, and they cannot, risk doing the whole payrolization thing, the whole over playlisting thing. They can't do it. So I guess this is what it gets down to. The real stars end up shining, and those that have relied on playlisting and stuff, not happening. Speaking about Spotify and flopping and being investigated, let us also talk about Mahlamini, okay? Things are not looking good for Doja Cat. I do not know what went wrong. I really was looking forward to this entire era, because I really did think that since it's a pop era for her, since she has learned to way more into pop, I thought it was going to do great. It's not. Really, it's not. The daily streams that she's getting, 12,900,000. We can just round it up to 13 million. And it's still not good for the numbers that Doja Cat used to do. So what's going on? So far, the total streams that she's gotten are 69 million streams. And daily 12 million. Or 13 million. And even the song with Misa is not doing it. So what's up? What's going on? What's up with Spotify? All of a sudden, since the investigation of Spotify, these female rappers and musicians that have been accused of doing some dirty tricks with Spotify, their numbers are not looking good on Spotify. What's up with the investigation? What's going on? I really need to know. Really. Because Doja Cat was known to be the queen of Spotify, okay? She would always dominate there. What's going on? And people were also pointing out how Doja has since vanished since the investigations against Spotify. Like, what's happening over there also? But these are crazy things, happenings, I promise you. Let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about Doja Cat's era. Do you think that, well, it's going to do well? Because it's known that her fans really, when it comes to pure sales, they're not the best. The platform that has given her a lot of hype has been Spotify. So it's not making any sense. But anyway, that being said, speaking of fraudulent stuff and stuff like that, it's actually being rumored that a certain somebody was out there giving, her fans coupon codes at her meet and greets. And these coupon codes are like $5. And her album is actually going for $4.99. So people are pointing that out. Like, what is that? Your album is selling for $4.99 and you're giving people $5 coupons. What's going on? Really, Advocate BBL. Is it not enough that you had to discount it to the price of a hot dog? Now you even have to go an extra mile and do this as well. It's certainly interesting. Now, moving on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Let us talk about Azealia Banks, okay? One thing about Azealia is she is a bab sometimes, and sometimes she's not a bab. She was reacting to Doja Cat's album and she said, okay, I love the girls and love I love the girls and love Nicki, but we cannot just be riding Nicki's ding-a-ling-a-ling like this. Like, a teeny bit of inspiration or borrowing is okay and respectful, but the full-on Nicki cosplays have to stop because it's almost like mocking her, which is rude. Okay, so this was in reference to Doja Cat's recent album and the music video thereof. Okay, she does feel like Doja Cat is doing too much of imitating Nicki Minaj, her rap style, her animation. It's almost giving Roman, and Azealia Banks is not here for it. So let me know in the comment section. I'm curious to know what you guys think about that. I've always thought like Doja Cat is Nicki inspired, but for some reason, I guess the industry told her to not give Nicki her flowers as she deserves. I feel like it would have hit differently if she would publicly acknowledge that, okay, I'm inspired, and if she wouldn't be acting all shady and stuff, okay? Because how are you going to decline being on someone's album and say you thought they don't like you, but you're literally cosplaying as them? That's the part that doesn't make sense for me in as far as Matlamini is concerned, okay? If you say you don't like her or you think she doesn't like you, then maybe stop cosplaying her. I don't know. I mean, that would be just common sense. But anyway, let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about this. And some people were saying, oh, Nicki is not the only one to be animated. Yeah, people can be animated, but in a different way. That's the point, that people make it seem like there's one way of being animated. No, it's not one way of being animated. But people particularly imitate that one way that Nicki Minaj does it. And you think that that's... She's not the only one to be animated. No, it's not about just the hair being animated. It's the way she is being animated. There are different ways you can be animated. I said animated. There are different ways you can be animated and still maintain your identity and individuality. Do you get it? But anyway, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Let us talk about Agba V and Advocate BBL. Now, on the Young Thug song, I've been hearing a lot of speculations of who Advocate BBL was dissing. And some people were saying that, well, she was coming for Nicki Minaj because she spoke about, oh, why are you laughing when your man is out there putting hands on you? And I'm just like, okay, DV is something to diss somebody about, but saying that you lied on your deceased mother is where we draw the line. It's interesting, the standards and the double standards that I actually see, especially in female rap, okay? This is an ally for women, by the way. This is an advocate for women who is using DV as a joke, okay? That being said, so people started saying that, well, it's because Kenny be putting hands on Nicki Minaj, so she was taking a dig on Nicki Minaj, and the fans were celebrating, saying that, catch it, Nicki, catch it, Nicki. But the same fans, by the way, were crying because Nicki just posted an album date. And this gets me so confused. Like, I've never seen such flip-flopping behavior, such double standards shamelessly. I cannot fathom how people can be this hypocritical. Like, it baffles me every time. I just cannot seem to wrap my head around it. I don't understand. So I guess after Nicki paid it dust, they decided to say now it applies to Akbar V, because for those of you who didn't know, Akbar V came out a few days ago talking about the DV that she had suffered in the hands of her husband. And I didn't really talk about it because it was just so sad. And, you guys know that she recently had a baby as well. It was just a lot going on. She went on multiple rants. I don't know if I should say rants. No, these are not rants, but these were cries for help, from what I could say. Okay, she went on multiple cries of help on the internet, basically detailing how the relationship has been like and how this man has been putting hands on her. And it's really sad. Okay, I don't like anyone going through this. And if that's who Advocate BBL was referring to, it would actually be sad, because even if it was her who was getting hands put on her by a man, I don't think that I would use that as a gotcha moment. Like, I really don't. I mean, you guys can even hear from my commentary when I talk about Offset and how he has treated her, and this whole money situation. I mean, she's not my favorite person, but there's certain things that as a woman, you're just like, no. But it seems like she doesn't have any form of sympathy for anyone. So regardless of whether you like people or not, making mockery of DV, I feel like that in itself is just distasteful. And it's just low IQ behavior. But it seems like word got to Akbar, and this is what she had to say. She said, am I getting dissed on a record? I want to know before I go in the studio. And I'm saying this with gratitude. I just woke up to DMs. I just want to know, am I getting dissed? And then Akbar said, with laughing emojis, now you're sure you want this work? I'ma ask you nicely, because I'm not like them. You know who I am. So this is Akbar basically saying that I'm ready to get in the studio if you were laughing at me because I got the A word, which would be sick. Which would really be sick. But anyway, the thing is, regardless of who she was talking about, it's very low life of her to say, to put out stuff like that, being a woman, and then turn around and say, oh, I want you to pray for my pregnancy. There's dark energy surrounding my baby. Ma'am, the dark energy is you the whole time. You're the dark energy. Because how can you think that a woman being subjected to DV is something that you can laugh about? It's very low life. Both you and that man who was putting hands on that woman are losers, because real men don't beat women. They don't. It's only weak men that cannot stand toe-to-toe with other men that do something like this. And such men, when they are in the company of other men, they don't do anything. Their strength, they prove their strength by putting hands on women who are known to be physically, a lot of them really, physically weaker than men. I'm sorry, like, this just disgusts me. But anyway, let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about that. The verdict is in. Okay, you guys, I was about to post this video, but I was like, let me just wait for these delayed results. What is going on with Billboard? Okay, so first of all, there was a massive delay and people started talking about what could be the reason for that delay. However, it then came to light that, well, allegedly there was some argument and some back and forth between Advocate BBL and Billboard. Apparently, or allegedly, she had sold 195,000, and you guys know that the fan has been bragging that she's going to be out there outselling Nicki Minaj, and the 195 wasn't really matching up with their big talk. So, yes, allegedly, this is the reason why they were delaying. So at this point, I'm just thinking, if the delay is not even going to bring about, you being able to outsell the person that you bragged and said you're going to outchat, you're going to outsell and all of these things. But anyway, to cut the long story short, chat data is reporting that, well, number one, Am I the Drama is actually number one on this week's Billboard 200 with 200,000 sales and 88,000 pure sales. Okay. And at this point, I'm just like, The number, the 200K straight, is very, very questionable if you ask me. I mean, if the payola couldn't even bring her past 200, I feel like they were debating. She was trying by all means to at least sell 200. Atlantic was really trying by all means to at least make sure that she does 200, because a lot of people really were cloaking that she wasn't ever going to be able to do 200. So I feel like this is what has been going on, and it has been chaos. The Babs have been waiting to drag, and I know that is going down right now on Twitter. So I just say, let me wait to post a video and just do one video where I cover everything. So let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about that. Some people are defending her, saying that 200K is not a bad number. And some people are like, oh, well, for all that barefoot walking and selling and hawking, actually, albums in the streets, at least they should have been something like 300K. After all that effort. So, I mean, on top of the payola, on top of the street hawking and selling albums, barefoot on the street and stuff like that, you cannot even outchat the person that you swore you would be able to outchat. And let's not forget, this is Nicki Minaj's fifth album that she is out there competing with. And chat data has been scrambling left, right, and center, you guys. When I told you they posted, oh my God, this week's Billboard 200 results are delayed. And then they started posting a series of tweets trying to place her. It's pathetic when you look at the way chat data is posting. Oh my God. After the announcement, literally a minute after, you cannot tell me that they didn't schedule these tweets. I think they did. So they said, am I the drama marks Cardi B's second consecutive #1 album on the Billboard 200? And then a couple of minutes later, they said, Cardi B becomes the first female rapper in history to debut her first 2 albums at #1 on the Billboard 200. You cannot make this stuff up. You really can't make this stuff up. They are really trying to salvage and save face for her. And this is the problem with her talking big and placing herself where she doesn't belong. This is the problem, because to be honest, 200K is not even bad, okay? But the problem is she has a big mouth. She wants to compete where she doesn't compare. And this is why she ends up having egg on face. They swore they were going to outsell Nicki Minaj and outdo Nicki Minaj. So imagine, after waiting 7 years to put out your sophomore album and swearing up and down that you would outdo Nicki Minaj, this is what you were able to do. And knowing Atlantic, this probably is not even the actual number. Minus payola, I wouldn't be surprised if she did 150K or even less than that. And then they went after and said, Cardi B, Am I the Drummer, ends the biggest first week US sales for a female rap album in 2025. And at this point, I'm just looking like it's pathetic, really. Oh, it cut right there. But I was saying, living in another person's shadow is never a good idea. It may seem exciting at the beginning when you're being compared to a legend who has put in sweat, hard work, consistency, talent in their craft. It sounds flattering when people are putting you next to that person and comparing you when you know very well you don't even deserve to be in that conversation. But in the long run, it's never ever beneficial. I do hope that this is a learning, point for everyone even listening. It's not a good thing, okay? Just be authentic, do your thing, take your time. Fraudulent things really will end up frustrating you at the end of the day, okay? And this is the reason why her friend was out there even deleting chats and stuff like that. Don't do that. Just be patient. Your time will come with time and with effort. You cannot just wake up and think that you can fake everything and dethrone people who have put in hard work, sweat, and who are being honest and have integrity in their craft. This is the result. Now you're embarrassed because you've sold 200K, and 200K is not even bad. And right now, after I am done, recording this video, now I'm going to go on Twitter and just see what the Babs are doing, because I know that they will be literally cooking, okay? And Now they're ranking female rappers with the most Billboard 200 number one albums, but they won't talk about the units. They won't talk about the numbers. And it's insane, actually, because Nicki Minaj's sophomore album did better than Cardi B's sophomore album in as far as the sales are concerned. But that's a fact that they will not address. Can you please put the numbers, chat data, really? Can you put the numbers if you want to do the comparison thing? Please put the numbers, and let's talk about who had more sales than the other. And they previously they didn't want to compare Nicki's sophomore album to Advocate BBL's. I don't know who was calling me in this critical time. But well, their argument was, oh, well, it's a different decade. But now we have Pink Friday 2, someone's fifth album, outdoing someone's sophomore album. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let me know what you think, you guys, about this entire chaos. And until my next one, see you. Guys, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to post this video because I keep on editing. To tell you the truth, I started recording this video in the morning and then I edited it, and then I was like, let me just wait for the updates and then I can post it once. And as soon as I was done editing it and exporting it, in comes Nicki Minaj with a post, okay, in real time. She posted, oh my God. It's a short clip of herself in the studio, and I'm just like, Nicki is so petty. But you know what? I do not blame her because, these people played on her top so much, okay? Imagine after all that cheating, after all those subliminals, and she's been quiet watching and everything. And after the cheatation, you're still not able to beat her. Bring it on. I cannot wait for much. Oh, I cannot wait for much. Until the next one, I hope this time this is it, okay?